Welcome to the Hooch, where the only place more messed up than your hosts is the barracks on a Friday night or the VA. So get ready to stand by for your weekly dose of toilet humor and shenanigans from your fellow veterans, Coy Mack and Michael Grizzled Grunt Harris.
So, if you could save a starving kid in any part of the world or have a functioning lightsaber, which would you choose?
I would choose a lightsaber. 100%.
Kevin, what about you?
I would say lightsaber, just because, I would save more kids with a lightsaber, like I said, unless he's going to save cancer or cure cancer or whatever.
See, I would do the same thing. Like I've been asked that question like a couple of different times already, and people are like, "Oh, why wouldn't you save the kid?" It's like, yeah, because I could be a total Jedi master, obviously. Like that's what we're gonna
kids do in other worlds.
Exactly.
Selfish.
I mean,
we could totally save all the kids.
You can save every child in the world.
Yeah, and this is coming from 3 parents right
exactly.
here. So.
Right, exactly. Like we could save more kids, and like I afford the ones I have already. Like trying to feed more of them probably would be a bad idea.
But truth be told, if I can save an African child with 50 cents a day, I would probably do it.
Right?
Yeah,
of course. All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is Coy Mack here, and we've got Michael Harris as well as Kevin Speedo McAwesome McNeese
America
here today with us. America.
Thanks for having me, gentlemen.
Indeed.
Great to have you here. So explain to us what you do on a daily basis.
Daily basis. I wake up here in Round Rock, Texas, beautiful Central Texas, just north of Austin. I'm a father of 2, a 5 and almost 1-year-old, and I've been married to an awesome chick who's a blacksmith apprentice, Lindsay. She's whatever. And I'm a full-time college student. I took this semester off just so I get better grades and focus on other things. And my daily routine is basically watching trolls.
Trolls on the internet, you mean? Actual trolls?
Because his daughter's a 5-year-old. That's why he watches trolls.
Yeah, I have a 5-year-old.
Okay. Oh, you mean literally watching trolls, like the
Trolls,
show?
the movie Sing, and the movie Moana every day.
So Kevin, so how's it feel to have your oldest in school right now?
Wonderful, because that's 8 hours that I don't have to watch her, and she's learning, and she actually enjoys school, so it's pretty awesome, and it makes me happy.
But that's your partner in crime, though. So
yeah.
Oh yeah. She might look more like Lindsay, but she definitely acts like me, and it's pretty awesome.
Oh, yeah, we know.
Oh yeah, like having kids is great. Like you have all daughters, don't you?
Yes. Ellie.
See,
and
I have
Clara.
all boys.
Yeah, Kevin. Kevin
so I wonder what that likes.
That's why.
Yeah, all the radars from all the fucking jets and other shit overseas.
You mean because you were in the Navy and you sailed around with a bunch of sailors?
Only a year and a half. I have as much time out to sea as I have in the Middle East, so it's even.
So, what was your job in the Navy? I don't think we've ever really discussed that.
My job, I had technically 3 different jobs. I was an aircraft mechanic. I did detainment operations for Special Operations Command, and also I was an air crewman, and then I kind of did a little bit of intel as well, but then I got forced out via Involset because they're like, oh, we have too many people and you're out. I'm like, 13 years, awesome, but the guy over here who has 2 DUIs is definitely getting promoted.
But that's the way it always works.
He's definitely getting in. You know how the military is, man.
Exactly. Like, after 13 years...
Guys,
and the funny thing was, to me, there like 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks, I had everything scheduled. We were scheduled to move back to Texas. And then they were like, oh, hey, have you thought about staying in? Because now, even though for the last 6 months we've been telling you to get your stuff done to get out, we want to keep you. And I'm like,
we want to retain you.
Exactly. And I'm like, you know what? This has happened. This exact situation has happened to me twice before. And I stayed in.
That happens to everybody.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what? I had a good career and I haven't killed anybody illegally yet. So I'm just going to take my chances and get out. And so far, so good. I mean, a little rough patch at first, but So, but not too bad.
But Kevin,
not too bad.
You have 13 years of an awesome freaking beard. Like your beard is like the most awesome Leonidas beard I've seen in America.
It is an incredible beard. If you ever find him like anywhere, if you've ever seen him, or if you go to his Facebook and find him,
and you know, tell us about your shorts, man. The shorts that you are known for, Speedo, the freedom shorts, the things.
Freedom shorts, freedom panties, whatever you want to call them. I first got them when I was in Pensacola from a beach store. I was like, these are badass. And of course, I got the matching Speedo with it as well.
Great.
And I just, the first time I ever wore them out, I wore them to a buddy of mine's house. He was a chief, and he and I have been friends since I joined. And we just so happened to be stationed at the same place. And I wore those to his. I was like, dude, this is a block party. Nobody's going to want to talk to you. What happened? Everybody wanted to talk to you. Everybody wanted to talk to me and take pictures with me. Everybody didn't even know that he was the neighbor. They thought I lived there. And I was like, nope.
You were the guy?
Yeah. And I'm like, nope, that's my buddy over there, Tony D.
I just showed up. Yeah. It's not even my party, bro. Like I just showed up and did my thing.
You know, I bought a pair of those shorts, you know I did. And the best thing about those shorts were my man bulge. You know, I was like,
yes.
Look at the dick print. It's all there. I see you ladies.
I was a little bit disappointed in you, though, Mike. I was a little bit disappointed in you that during the Silkies hike last year. Because myself and Sean had them on, and you had your Ranger panties on. And we were put on the front of the Austin Statesman, newspaper, but you had your freedom pack on, your freedom fanny pack on, so I guess you made up for it.
We were on the cover of Statesman, and my bulge was looking glorious, though. That's the only thing I cared about. I was just worried about the bulge. That was it. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I fluffed it a little bit just to make sure, it was really out there.
You did touch the tip, but just a tip.
Just a tip. At least it was just a tip.
It was a handful, but it's whatever. It's neither here nor there.
So normally you also peddle Black Rifle Coffee, don't you?
Black Rifle Coffee and also Strike Force Energy.
Strike Force Energy.
It's whatever.
A little bit of Strike Force.
And also, what else do I peddle?
So I actually like Strike Force. I tried it before, and it was at the Fest event, the Vet Fest event that we had. Yeah, that's what it was.
I donated fucking 2 bottles to that thing.
Right. And so I put I don't know, you're like, how many? Yeah, you're like, how many are you supposed to put in? You're only supposed to put in 1.
You put in 1 per cup. That's like having 4 Red Bulls at once right there. And you're like,
I don't care. I only live
when we went to, remember we went to that restaurant with Tim Kennedy. Remember that? So I put a whole packet of it in a vodka and water. And by the time I left that place, I was in Narnia. I was in Narnia. I was riding unicorns, and I didn't know where the fuck I was at, and I couldn't sleep all night.
It's basically like a Ribbit.
And that's exactly what it is.
God, Ribbits were amazing. Dude, I wish we had more Ribbits. You can get those at a dollar store.
The 16-ounce can, though. So
I wish I had the big
kidney stone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very good.
That's pretty much all you're getting.
Yeah.
So on today's episode, now that we've talked a little bit about ourselves, we're going to go over a couple of things that I found really annoying, which is apparently veterans are really scary and they hurt people's feelings.
Yeah, I mean, we should. But why do they think we should? Because they all think we have some crazy PTSD, Or
there's something wrong with us. We're broken.
I mean, we're not normal. That's what they say.
I mean, it's what the news says, so obviously
it must be. Yeah. Everything on the news is
I watched CNN today. Absolutely. They told me that the world's going to end tomorrow, and I was like, yes, it is.
Yes, it
is.
Speaking of the world ending, North Korea decided they wanted to test another missile and shoot it over Japan this time.
Yeah, dude.
Did you guys hear about that?
Yeah, apparently it was we're just trying to launch a satellite over.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Kim Jong-un is so Rory. He's so Rory. He's Rory, lonely, in American, but he's Rory.
Oh man.
I don't know what this dude's deal is, man. Like literally, you're messing with Japan. Japan is the only country to actually attack America, and you want to fly a missile over the only country that has actually tested the superpower.
That
really,
is true.
really tested us.
They know better. Like they understand that, and they've also stated many times already that they are totally never going to create an army. They're never going to start a war ever again. Like that's what the Prime Minister Abe has said recently, that we will never do that. But I wonder if his tone's going to change now that North Korea is like, you know what, I'm just going to test something over your heads. Boop. And then he just launched it. Like, a lot of people were waking up to the sounds of the sirens of like citizens being told that there was a missile launch and it was heading in the direction. They thought it was going to land there.
Yeah, it happened in Hokkaido, which is the northern island. So probably about.
You've been to Japan before, haven't you?
Yeah, I was stationed there for about 3 years. And Hokkaido, where it launched over, which is where Sapporo beer is from, which is delicious.
Oh,
how much you want to bet Kim Jong-un was in his basement playing PlayStation 4? Call of Duty, and he was like, "Launch it, not launch it, launch it," And he was just sitting there playing video games, and he was like, "Bring me Cheetos," and he brought him Cheetos, and with his little cheesy fingers, he was just pointed to his guy. He was like, "Launch those missiles." Probably didn't even know where
you're going totally Team America with it too. Like you're saying is like that's what he's like right now.
No, that's exactly. He's just like his dad,
except fatter.
He's lonely.
He's much fatter than his dad.
What's that basketball player's name that goes over
Dennis
there?
Rodman.
Dennis Rodman said that he would go over there. He said, "I would go over there, and I would hope Donald Trump would bomb North Korea." No. We're gonna bomb your ass if you're over there. Trust me. You're gonna be playing basketball with flames all around you.
It's gonna be coming down, and you're still gonna be playing basketball. That's cool.
Yeah, dude. You're like 60 years old. How old is he now? I don't even know how old he is.
I have no idea how old he is.
I have no idea. That dude is hell, and he wants to go over there to play basketball with him.
I don't get that. I don't understand why you would want to do that in itself. Like. I'm gonna go play basketball in North Korea.
Well, he's a weird motherfucker anyway. We all know that.
Oh yeah.
You look at when I think he dated Madonna at one point, and he dated himself at one point. I don't know. This guy's just weird.
He was married to Carmen Electra.
Oh yeah. Carmen Electra.
He was born in 1961, so 57.
So he's like 4 years younger than my mom.
Yeah. So he's like 57.
Oh wow. I didn't realize he was that old. But I also did realize like how old like Arnold Schwarzenegger is and like Sylvester Stallone are. Like those guys are like in their 70s, and it's like Jesus Christ.
Well, like, Samuel L. Jackson's like 72 or something like that. And he's in everything.
Oh yeah. These motherfucking snakes on a motherfucking plane. That's what he's into.
that is true.
Snakes on a motherfucking plane.
That's kind of how I've been for the last couple of days, like having like this mouse runner in my house, and I finally got it last night, and I was pretty proud of myself.
Yeah, but I don't even know what North Korea is thinking. Like you have the South right there waiting for you to do something. You have Japan right there waiting for you to do something. What is this guy thinking?
Well, he's getting emboldened by China. Like, obviously, like China is still going to use them as a buffer state for a long, long, long time if they can get away with it. But if North Korea messes up, like, I don't know if they're actually going to back them up. Like, that's what I'm kind of curious about, is if China would actually back up.
Well, Donald Trump would be like, it'd be a very beautiful, beautiful bombing. It'd be great. It'd be great. So if you're messing with a country like America, so America has taken on more superpowers than any other country in this world. So I don't know why North Korea is not even a superpower. So we've taken out Japan, we've taken out Germany. What other bullshit countries have we fucked up? Iraq Tunisia. At one point. We ran through Iraq, like a hooker in the red light district in Germany and Frankfurt. And North Korea really thinks that they have a chance. For one, the North Korean people, not all of them, some of them, majority of them, are going to turn against their government. They don't want to live like that.
I would hope
they don't want to live like that.
I would hope so. Kevin, what do you think? What's your analysis on this?
Let's see. North Korea's like, I remember the day we got to see Team America World Police. We were actually sailing in and out of North Korean waters because they were like, "Oh, we're gonna launch more missiles," and I think they had already done the nuke thing, and our fucking fleet, or I can't even remember, or carrier battle group. There we go, battle group. Yeah. Was like, we had just pulled out of Busan, South Korea, and we were just sailing around, just like, try something. Seriously. Really? Oh, you're not? Okay, we're going to go back home. Pussy.
So it's pretty much been this way for a long time, even like when you were still active.
Oh, yeah. That was 2000. I was in Japan from 2003 to 6.
Yeah, but have you ever been in North Korea? I mean, or South Korea, sorry.
No.
South Korea. So have you ever seen the Rock Army? Those dudes don't mess around, man. They do taekwondo and shit, and you get American soldiers out there wanting to fight them, and they get rolled up. I'm like, these dudes are no joke, man. These South Koreans, man. North Korea really thinks that they're just going to run through South Korea. They're not. The Rock Army is a very disciplined, fighting force, and they have the American military backing them up. So I don't know what North Korea really thinks they're going to do.
Like, I know the biggest concern right now is that they're actually going to kill more people within the first hour if an attack actually gets launched on the DMZ. Like, that's the biggest worry a lot of people have right now, besides the fact of using a nuclear weapon on South Korea, or even Japan for that matter. Will one hit us? Probably not. I don't think they have the technology yet. They're getting there, but they don't have it yet. Yeah. Then that's the biggest concern.
Most of their stuff is aimed at the DMZ and Seoul. Like, Seoul is like 40 miles from the DMZ anyway. So they have tons of artillery and stuff just zeroed right there.
But how many bunkers are in South Korea? South Korea is not done, dude.
There's
there's bunkers everywhere. But so who are they taking out?
They're prepared for it.
They're ready.
Yeah, like the northern half, in my opinion and somewhat prediction, the northern half of South Korea and all of North Korea, or all the major points and missile silos and blah, blah, blah in North Korea, are just going to be wiped out completely. That's just my personal opinion. Like if something kicks off, everybody's going to launch everything they can as fast as they can. And obviously, we're going to overwhelm them because we're just going to knock out everything. Unless we strike first or something. It's going to be, just depends on who throws what rock first.
Exactly.
That'll be the same to see. And speaking of rocks and hard places, you have Houston, pretty much underwater. I know this is going to come out a little bit after all of this has happened, but it's nuts. Like, they've actually had to add colors on the Weather Channel to display how much rain has actually fallen, and they're saying that it is the most rain that has ever fallen on the continental United States.
Yeah,
like in recorded history, anyway.
And Southeast Texas in general, from basically just west of Houston all the way to my hometown in the Beaumont area, on average gets about 80 inches a year. So, yeah, like my aunt's house in Beaumont is probably from the street level to the middle of the window. That's probably about 6 to 8 feet.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And the thing is, 2 days ago, my cousin, she posted this picture on Instagram or whatever. Oh, they were just kind of like, oh, look at us. We're walking in the street with our boots. And it was ankle high. And that was about, it was not ankle. It was like shin high. So about a foot or two. And then now I see where it's at. I'm like, oh shit! Like, I think they either a levee broke or they had to, release the reservoir, or else something was gonna break or something happened. Sorry, I don't have more information on that.
No, that's fine. I mean, that's still insane. Like, I know a lot of people are upset that the Houston mayor didn't actually evacuate. And I had seen that it actually wasn't possible. And the last time that they tried to evacuate, more people died during the evacuation than the actual event, which didn't actually happen. Like, that's what's really messed up.
And here's the thing, man. If someone told you in a major city that a hurricane was coming in and this thing was catastrophic, why do you need to tell someone to evacuate? So they called it
That's a good question.
They called it Hurricane Steve Harvey or whatever. Hurricane Harvey. I'm going to imagine this hurricane as Steve Harvey without a mustache. He would look weird as hell. Whoa. But what did they call this hurricane? Like hurricane, death by destruction. People would have got their asses up out that city.
If it had a scarier name.
But the name wasn't scary enough, so people were like, I'm just going to write it out. But they told you.
Well, none of them are. They're all.
And here's the thing. People in Houston aren't, this isn't their first ride. They've been through this before. Houses have been flooded before in that area. And most time when you buy a house, they tell you if it's a flood area. Guarantee it.
Yeah, they have
to tell you it's a flood area. So in my house, they say, well, your house is in the flood area. You really don't need flood insurance. I guarantee the majority of those people that have flooded out their house, they were told that this is a flood area. And they kept their asses there. Get your ass up out that area. You're going to lose your house. Sorry. It sucks. You know what I mean? And, none of us want anyone to lose anything. But get up out of there. No one should be getting rescued right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I understand it and I don't. I mean, there's a lot of people that are, wanting to stay because they want to help out, or they wanted to stay because they didn't want to lose their shit. Like, that's understandable. There has been a lot of looting since this event's already happened. Yes. And the Cajun navies are even shot at.
To me, man.
Like, these people are just coming out to help, and there's just some jackass that decides they want to try to rob them. It's like, why? Like, they're like, as much as you see the good that comes out of this hurricane, you see the bad that also comes with it. And
there's always going to be bad, man. There's always the people that, and probably the people that are freaking, looting aren't probably from that area.
No. No, it's because same thing happened not only happened, but is happening in my hometown too. They kind of wait it out. They get a bunch of flatboats and they just kind of come in at night. But most of the neighborhoods have either a bunch of the dudes, they stay back with their shotguns, or
I wish a motherfucker would. I wish a motherfucker would.
We would have a mini task force here.
Isn't it crazy how our country can't even, come together at that moment? Not everyone at that moment, to where everyone is suffering. And you're spending your time looting and stealing for what? A couple bucks? A TV? And cell phones? There's people out here suffering. So that just goes to show you that, a lot of Americans out there really don't give a shit about unity. Yeah.
I mean, I wish it I think it's smaller than we'd like to think, but I think a lot of people have tried to help.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of the good thing.
Most definitely.
Like, I got asked to help. I just donated gear basically because, I couldn't due to my daycare situation. So I just gave a bunch of my dive stuff to people that were headed down there. And I know a lot of people like, let's go. Hell, there's even people going there right now that we all know.
We all know them.
Right. And we know how it goes. Like, if there's a flood or if there's any like major event, all the news media shows up.
Yes.
All the outlets show up.
Yeah.
And there's a clip I actually wanted to play for you guys of there's a flood survivor that just flips out on CNN. Here, take a listen.
All of this as well. What can you tell us?
Let me introduce you to Danielle here. Danielle, you just arrived. Share with us how you were rescued.
Some guys had called our phone and asked us where we were because we was waiting for the police for like 36 hours and they never came. And we was waiting at the home. We did the white flags and everything and nobody came. But then somebody had called the phone after we decided to leave the house and we had walked to the gas station with the kids. And then they had called and came and picked us up. But we had been there like 5 days with no food and no lights and nobody came.
Now, you're with your children. We've heard of stories of mothers trying to save their children from the rushing waters. Can you tell us how that was?
Through 4 feet of water to go get them food on the first day. Yeah, that's a lot of shit. But y'all sitting here, y'all trying to interview people during their worst times. Like, that's not the smartest thing to do. Like, people are really breaking down, and y'all sitting here with cameras and microphones trying to ask us what the fuck is wrong with us.
So I'm so
and
sorry,
you really trying to understand with the microphone still in my face, with me shivering cold, with my kids wet, and you still putting a microphone in my face.
Sorry. Rosa Flores, it sounds like you've got a very...
So yeah, needless to say, she was kind of upset having a microphone put in her face.
Yeah, and that really bugged me right there, man. And you can see what the mainstream media does. The mainstream, they thrive on emotion. They thrive on things that are happening within our communities without thinking about the person that they're interviewing. They're not thinking about what that person was going through right there. They just saw her, and they saw a young black woman, sitting there, and they was like, oh, let me talk about this. And they was probably hoping for something else, but instead of talking about what was going on at that moment, like, this sucks. People are out here dying. People are flooding and everything. They went on with their spin about the flood and how do you feel about it? What the hell do you mean? How do I feel about it? I lost everything.
What are you expecting? Like, Kevin, just, like, since this is coming from like close to your hometown, I mean, what do you think of all this? Like, do you think it's more of a kind of a grab for just more attention
from the lady, or just the news in general?
No, news in general. Like, do you see that?
Yeah, it's the hot story right now, because I mean, it's literally been raining in Southeast Texas for not just raining, dumping in Southeast Texas for days. Now, like, I just saw a picture that's been circulated around a little bit recently in Winnie, Texas, which is roughly between Houston and Beaumont, and it's I-10, and it's probably a good 10, 11 feet underwater. Like, Interstate Highway 10. Like, the water is almost touching the sign that says, oh, this way to Beaumont, or this way to Houston, whatever. I was like, holy crap. And it's choppy waters too. And it was a guy who took the picture on a flatboat. So it's interesting, but it's funny because I remember when the hurricane was coming up this way, you had a lot of people from Corpus and Port Aransas, who basically came to Austin, San Antonio. And I asked my family and friends, like, hey, are you guys leaving? They're like, nah, we'll be fine. And I'm like, the northeast side of the storm is usually the worst. It's where all the rain dumps. For the most part, the wind is the eye, and basically we're in the direction that the storm is actually going. They're like, we'll be fine. I mean, it really sucks because it's people I grew up with. Like, I know a few of my good friends who decided to stay back, and they literally had to be rescued.
Jeez, like that. I obviously our hearts go out to them, and hope everybody recovers. I know Houston's going to take years to recover. I mean, that's what they're saying. Like, FEMA is even saying that it's going to take years.
Yeah.
For part of Texas to recover.
And I will say to anyone out there that there's a lot of organizations out there that are doing big things, that are doing good things. Veteran organizations that a lot of us know the people that are out there doing it, but just they're asking for donations and give anything. Just do whatever. If it's a toilet paper, give something. Because these people up here are suffering, and these are fellow Americans.
Right.
Bring Whataburger to them too. They don't want the In-N-Out stuff.
Yeah, get them Whataburger right now.
They'll just throw the In-N-Out to the fishes anyway.
So to move on with our topics today, I wanted to bring up something for the both of you. As fellow veterans, we've got the Army, we've got the Navy, and we've got the Marine Corps right here, like all representative. And there have been two things that have come up recently that I really wanted to talk about. One of them is a Huffington Post article by David Fagan. I don't even, like, that's what his name is. Like, I'm just reading it off of there.
Fagan. Fag.
Right. Okay. Becoming a racist, the unfortunate side of serving your country, ? Like, I hate that he used a question mark in this in the first place. It's just like, were you unsure, or are you just like trying to like goad people in for things. Like that doesn't even sound correct. You know, the unfortunate side of serving your country? Question mark? You know, and he professes himself to be a writer, musician, Trump resistor, and food snob. So this guy,
okay, stop right there. Stop the press. You said musician and Trump resistor.
Trump resistor. No. And food snob. You have food snob at the end.
Resist.
Like his.
He already told you where he's coming from, dude.
Oh yeah, no, and I thought that was funny because like you look at it, he's like food snobs at the end. Like he couldn't have put that at the beginning. You know, food snob, writing musician, Trump resistor. That might have been a little bit of better of a play.
So this really bugs me. So how many veterans before this idiot posted his little whatever
his thoughts? Yeah,
his thoughts. So what do you call whatever you want to call it? His freedom of speech, his thoughts.
Because keep in mind, this is an opinion piece. Opinion piece.
So well, you know, opinions are what we do, but
opinions are a dime a dozen. They're not all good.
So how many veterans out here that are global war and terror veterans that have got PhDs or entrepreneurs have done so much within
or congressmen right now,
congressmen and all this other stuff. So this guy, he's your typical social justice warrior who hates veterans because we get something that he doesn't, and he needs to be punched in the face.
I just thought it was. Like if you read the article itself, like I'm going to read a few excerpts from it, but like if you read the article itself, it's basically saying that most white veterans, like, well, he'll specifically pointed out that white veterans are getting radicalized.
Both of you.
While in Iraq and Afghanistan, and that, you know, because of that, we come back with all this hate inside of our hearts, and that we hate so many people that we automatically become white supremacists.
Wow.
Like. Yeah, what
the fuck insane. Does that even mean? White supremacist. What does that mean? Like, seriously, what does that even mean? No one. We had this conversation before. No one is supreme over me. No one. You know, as a black man, half black or whatever black you want to call me.
You're American.
I'm American.
You're American. Yeah.
No person of any skin color is supreme over me. So what? This is probably a white male. Yes?
Oh, it is. Yeah, it is.
So
it totally
he
is.
has white guilt. So the question to him is,
what's your word for him? What do you call him?
The what?
What do you call like white people that hate themselves so much, but they like are on the side of social justice and must protect black people?
Oh, white knights.
There you go.
Yeah, he's your typical white knight, right? That sits up there and thinks he has the answer for all social justice woes for the black people or brown people in this country. And then he talks about white supremacy. Well, what you're doing is white supremacy. You know, you're sitting here speaking for people of color without knowing what the rest of them, the people of color, are actually going through.
Right. Yeah. And exactly. Like I've said that many times before. A lot of these people don't know what they're talking about, but they think because they're on that side, they can. And it's wrong. Like, so for instance, like here we're talking about he's actually getting it from an interview from Anderson Cooper with Vice News, Ellie Reed, mentioning that the security for the neo-Nazis was not provided by the Charlottesville police, as one might expect, but it was the veterans of the Iraq and Afghan war. To hear these veterans claim they were radicalized in Iraq and Afghanistan during their tours of duty is one of the more unfortunate things to come to light regarding the side effects. That word right there, that's what gets me the most. The side effects of serving country. Like, besides PTSD, what other side effects is he worried about? Like, honestly, like he's saying that all the side effects of serving your country, of being radicalized in Iraq and Afghanistan, you become a white supremacist. Like, that's what it is.
That's what it sounded like.
All right, here's the definition to Nazism. It's an ideology and set of practices associated with 20th century German Nazi.
Wait, what?
You didn't hear it?
Yeah, no, I mean, I got that with like 20th century Nazis. Like we were just talking about, like,
it says. Okay. It says, and other far right groups.
Which and other far right groups.
So if you look up the true definition of it, it's probably not going to say the same. But I don't know what these guys are trying to do, man. And you hear it all the time. So I got called today. I was on a little debate with someone, and they called me a self-hating black man because they're self-hating. And I was like, okay, why? Wow. Because you're not going to call out Nazis and white supremacy. And I was like, so what is white supremacy? It is this, that, and the other. I was like, okay, that doesn't affect me. So keep going. Well, these Nazis, I was like, who are the Nazis? These white people. I'm like, what white people? All of them. I'm like, so every single white person that you see is a Nazi. Yes. I'm like, I can't talk to you. No, we're done.
That hurts. Like that hurts. Like, you know, I can't fix what I am. You know, same thing with Kevin. We can't fix what we are, right? Like,
no, I'm only half white, so happened. Only half of me can't fix me, apparently.
Oh, so that's what Kevin does. He goes, no, I'm only, so like, I'm only half white. I'm only half.
Sorry.
Well, I guess that sucks for me because, like, I guess I'm all white. I guess I haven't done the DNA test. We'll do that on a later episode. We're gonna do that on another episode. Yep. We'll do a DNA test and we'll figure out what we are, and we'll tell everybody.
But what happens if, as a black man, I came up and I said, I'm only 50% black, you know, and 50% white. So am I half white supremacist?
You're
No, it's always the one drop rule. That's what they tell you.
So, but that's gonna be funny because like the other half, like one half of you hates the other half of you,
yes,
and vice versa.
So I hate myself, literally. You know, I don't get it, man. I really don't.
I don't either, Kevin. So like reading this article, like I shared it with you earlier. How do you feel about this? Like honestly, like what do you get from that? Like as half white.
The white side, you know. Well, at first, whenever I saw it was by the Huffington Post, I immediately shut down to like 5% caring. I was like, oh, Huffington Post, and I'm just gonna kind of
nope.
Yeah. Just reading this, I was just like, really? Jeez.
So what would you do, Kevin?
To me, here's how I see it. It's like whenever you take a poll for anything, you take it in a part of the city where you know you're going to get the result you're going to get. So my guess is maybe this guy took a few interviews from a certain part of town in, let's just say like Mississippi or Alabama. He's like, how do you feel? Blah, 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 blah. And they're like, well, this is how we feel about this stuff. And I'm a veteran. And they're like, oh, well, we're just going to generalize it and say all the white veterans feel like this. That's my opinion on that stuff.
And that's crazy to me. So, you know, they will say that the minute a white person says or does anything, they will say all white people are like that. All of them.
Yeah.
But the minute a Muslim or some radical mother flower does something, they will say, well, you can't say they're all like that. I just don't get it. I
don't either. It's that backwards logic that a lot of people have, is that they can easily apply it to one group but not another.
Exactly.
And that's not fair. You know, with these, it's, you know, he says that the men and women returned with a newfound hatred for those different from them, especially after their mission is one of liberation from those who would kill and persecute anyone of different faiths, beliefs. Is quite disturbing, to say the least. I'm quoting him from his article. That's what.
Actually, when I came back, I couldn't stop talking about the Kurds, how awesome they were, and how I think they should run the whole country of Iraq.
Exactly.
Right. I was like, the Kurds are fucking awesome. The fucking IPs and IA at the time were fucking retards. I mean, let's see, ISOF was cool, CTG was cool, the Ministry of Interior, they were pretty badass, but
like all the NATO groups that I got involved, like I met overseas, were awesome as well.
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
It's,
and I think you've been to Kurdistan too, right, Kevin?
Yeah. I was in Kirkuk.
Yeah,
and,
so you can walk up in Kurdistan, man. You can leave Iraq in full or full combat gear and go up to Kurdistan, and you don't have to wear anything.
Yeah, you just have a pistol on your side.
These people, well, you don't have to wear any, plates or anything, helmets or anything. They're like, take your stuff off. You're safe here.
Exactly.
You're cool, man.
You're cool.
It's like we have the.
So understand what they're talking about, man, because they don't understand how vets. We're dealing with brown people.
Yeah.
We're not dealing with white people. We're not in Germany. We're dealing with brown people. We're not up there just killing them willy nilly. We're just walking around. No, we're not doing that. We're protecting a
baby
lot
killers,
of them.
Right? Like I hate that argument of like you saying that is like they all automatically lump in like most of the military as being all of these baby killing monsters, and it's like, you know what? No, that's not even how the military works. For one, not everybody's in the infantry. Let's just get that straight right away.
There's only like 10% of us out there on the front line, so.
Right, like Michael and I are grunts. Like through and through, we've been grunts our entire like enlistments. Like that's all we've ever been.
Kevin would be a Kevin, you're
Kevin over there got to hang out. Yeah, you got to hang out.
You got to hang out with some freaking gunslingers, but Kevin,
I got to hang out and do cool stuff.
I know.
I'll never forget this infantry captain. He thought I was like some operator because I was dressed in 5'11" pants and a beard and stuff, and little old E5 me, he was like, hey, can I talk to so and so? I was like, yeah, bro, I got you, man. And I'm like, little does he know that I'm just a Navy E5, fucking nothing.
What kind of sailor were you?
I was an Airedale, is what they would be called for the most part.
An Airedale? That means you took the Dale?
Airedale or air wing guy.
Oh.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so there's one other letter I wanted to get to before we head out of here, and that's the UCCS, or the University of Colorado Springs. What they posted on a bulletin board, it wasn't even associated with the college. It was written by a non-student, but it got a lot of attention online because it basically called veterans being unsafe. So veterans should be banned from 4-year universities. And I'm going to read the whole newsletter in its entirety so you get an understanding. A 4-year traditional university is supposed to be a place of learning, of understanding, of safety and security. However, there is an element among us who may be frustrating those goals. Veterans. UCCS is known for its number of veterans who are full and part-time students, but these veterans of much of the school prides themselves may be hurting the university. First off, many veterans openly mock the ideas of diversity and safe spaces for vulnerable members of society.
I just grabbed my pistol. Hold on. Got my Glock 19 right here. I'm about to shoot my phone.
Right? This is directly in contradiction to the mission of UCCS. Many veterans utter the mantra that they do not see color, in quotations, like big bunny ear quotation marks here.
Did we just say we have our pistols out? Because I got mine, just in case.
No, you don't.
Okay. No, you don't? Okay.
Is that mine or yours?
My 226. It's a 6
It sounds like it's not loaded.
Oh, it's not loaded because I took the magazine out because I'm safe.
Good thing.
Okay, good thing. At least you're responsible.
Very responsible.
But the problems lie with a socialization into the military culture that is that of white supremacist organization. They have been permanently tainted, mind you, and no longer fit for a 4-year university. Second, many students are frightened by the presence of veterans in the classrooms. Veterans usually have an overwhelming presence. Okay, we do. I'm sorry. I do that a lot. I got in trouble at UT a few times. Which distracts from other students. Which, again, yes, I've been told that. This is usually true for the vulnerable individuals such as this is going to be long. The LGBTQI2SAA, who have been known to be the butt of insensitive jokes made by veterans.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we make jokes of everyone. That's not you. Finally,
what does it mean after QT? Like all the rest of
I don't know.
Elemental P or S WXYZ.
I remember growing up.
I couldn't tell you because I'm not. Yeah, it was.
I mean, like, oh my God. Okay, finish your set. Finish it. Because,
sorry about that.
Oh God.
Yeah. No, we'll get through it, guys. Don't worry. Finally, veterans usually are associated with extremist right-wing groups such as the Tea Party and the NRA.
Oh my God.
In order to provide a safe place for all students, extremist right-wing groups must be suppressed on campus. This would include their followers, veterans.
Oh my God.
That is not to say that veterans should not be allowed in education. Veterans should be allowed to attend trade schools. Attend trade schools, or maybe even a community college, but not a 4-year university. But in order to protect our academic institutions, we must ban veterans from 4-year universities.
Okay, that took a lot for me to listen to that.
It was really hard to get through, especially when I had to do the whole acronym. And I'm like, God, I thought the military was bad with acronyms and like the LGBT.
I mean, what is it? Like, LGBTQIALMFOPQRSTV. I mean, where the fuck does it stop? And
I don't know either. Like, can we just all agree that we should just go LGB, right? ETC, you know, et cetera, and just leave it at that?
Yes. LBG, et cetera.
Right,
who
exactly.
wrote this? It had to be a chick.
No, it was a dude. Or at least it might have been a dude, but they don't even know who the guy actually is.
He's not even a student.
Males, fucking beta males are writing shit. We need to get rid of them.
God.
Go ahead, Kev.
No, because then we would be falling in that line. But yeah, go
I was
ahead.
just saying the guy wasn't even a student.
No,
he wasn't.
No.
It wasn't even a student. Like he wasn't a part of the university, but they got permission from the school to post it on their bulletin boards where anybody can do it, and they are protecting their First Amendment rights because that's the kind of school they are.
So basically, you can write anything for any school according to them, even if you're not a student, and just hang it up.
Oh, fuck that.
Or get it hung up. You have to pay.
All right. So we're gonna start hanging a lot of shit on their fucking shit. But here's what he said: LGBTQI2SAA. What the fuck does that even mean?
Now, whenever I see
I don't know
SAA, I think Syrian
what is
Arab
queer,
Army.
Queer, intersexual. Okay, I don't know what the 2SAA means though.
I'm sure somebody's going to educate us eventually once this episode.
They should, and I have no idea. But I mean, like, how the hell can this dude literally say pretty much that every vet that gets out the military is a white supremacist?
Right. You know, it's a white because they are. What did he put it as? He said that they're permanently tainted because they're, you know, it's basically a white supremacist organization. You know, the culture that is that of white supremacist organizations. That's why their socialization into the military. So, Kevin, you're a white supremacist. Michael, you're a white supremacist.
No, apparently. I'm a black white supremacist. Now Clayton. That's what they call it.
Whoa.
You are Clayton. You are Clayton Bixby.
Get that motherfucker. Get him. Say it. Woogity boogity.
Oh, God.
Woogity boogity. What the hell does that even mean, bro? Like, dude, like, I couldn't even imagine sitting around our little patrol base right now talking about this. And I'd be like, you motherfuckers. You motherfuckers.
Like back in the day when I was deployed, you know, almost 10 years ago, like this wasn't even an issue. Like none of this stuff mattered.
Kevin, did it matter on a boat?
No, it didn't matter on the boat or in the sand.
On a boat, though, that's what I'm talking about. When you guys are all intimate and shit.
We know what happens.
You know what goes on, Kevin.
It's not gay if you're underway.
Oh shit!
Snap.
Well, maybe I need to take that way.
You know you do.
So I guess to close that out is like this sentiment that's coming from the left side is getting ridiculous, even to the point that they're going to oppress their own oppressees that they're trying to protect, like, i.e. like Michael. Like, you're a veteran, but you can't go to a 4-year.
But I don't need your fucking protection. Why? I don't need your fucking protection. Why do they think they're a voice for me?
I don't know.
You know, I don't get it. I can speak for myself. I'm my own person. I'm my own man. I'm a grown ass man. I want. I'm a grown ass fucking man. I don't need you, some 21-year-old kid with a black mask out there talking about oppression. Get the fuck out of here. I don't need you.
All right, moving on. So we got our first Blue Falcon story from one of our one of our fans sent this to us, a Marine. It's a Marine story, so we're going to do this. This is our Blue Falcon Award is going to the guy in the story. This is from James F., and this is his story. One night, as a Lance Corporal, I was out drinking at a country bar, having a good old time, just like Chessie would have wanted. I saw a young Marine. I recognized him from passing, was being led out of the bar by bouncers straight to the cops waiting at the door. As a Marine, we always take care of our own. So I put my beer down and walked out the front door. Turns out, he was being arrested by the PD for underage drinking. That sucks. Already sitting in the back seat. I go to the cops and find out that they too are Marines. Blue Falcon moment number 1. After talking shop for a minute, they told me they would only release him to a squad leader. I picked up my chin and I said, "That's me." Obviously, it was a lie. I just didn't think this young Marine really needed to get his command involved. We all did it. Anyways, they wind up releasing him to me on the condition that they see the ass chewing. I proceed to pull the Marine out of the cop car, pull him aside, and whisper, "Just go with it." And I chewed his ass, digging in. It was epic. The cops looked satisfied.
Hold on. Stop right there. All I heard was, "Just go with it." I chewed his ass, digging in. That's all. Okay,
he was giving the guy an ass chewing. Okay, let's just go with that.
Oh, so he just went with it, getting his ass chewed while the dude was digging in. Yes or no?
Okay, he was chewing the junior Marines. Well, I'm not. Okay, he was chewing him out, and then the cops liked that he was chewing him out. Okay, let's just say that. Let's go with that.
All right, bro. Yeah.
The cops looked satisfied, so I grabbed the Marine, and I knew, and ordered him to drive his truck back to the barracks. Well, the twist of the story comes there the next morning. Some boot-ass Blue Falcon that reported it on duty, no less, and the first sergeant read the logbook. Oh. Yeah. So needless to say, I, along with the drunk Marine and the snitch, had to report to the company's first sergeant's office the next morning. As we all stand there in attention in front of the man, he looks at me and says, "You know, you could get I could get you for impersonating an NCO." I said yes, but he said something I'll never forget. "I can, but I won't, because you did it to take care of your Marine and keep him out of cuffs." Good shit. Nods in approval. And he goes, "Hey, snitch, you got duty." And we all laughed and thanked me for and they all laughed. So that's great to have a first sergeant just go, "I knew what you were trying to do, and that's great. And I applaud you for it."
You sound like a ghost.
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. But, we want more of those stories, man. We want more people to come out here and talk about Blue Falcon shit. We have our own.
Oh, yeah.
We can talk about them all day, but what we want the people listening to this podcast to be like, "Here's my story."
And that's all we want, man. Like, I want to hear everybody's Blue Falcon. I'm sure Kevin's got one that maybe we can get on another time.
And you can say my name if you want. I think I know who told this story.
Okay. Kevin doesn't want to really talk about that because it was probably very painful for him.
Like butt stuff? I know.
Yeah. Like that was your Blue Falcon story. Somebody did me in a duty.
Well, that's.
I bet you did on the ship.
Oh, I'm sure.
I bet all those jarheads on there were
we didn't have jarheads on ours. That's on Muse. That's on Gators mostly.
Not all. Yeah.
How do we know they were there?
Yeah, that's probably why. All right. Well, I want to thank Kevin.
So Coy is going to tell us some stories.
Later. I will. But I'm going to want to thank Kevin McNeese for coming on with us and joining us today. Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, thank you, guys. Sir. America.
Love you, brother.
And we will see all of you guys next time on the Hooch, where we'll talk about nothing and everything and whatever we want to that day. So stay safe, America. God bless Houston. You guys get better, and we'll see you next time.
America.